Alright folks, welcome back, and this is Drone2 Robotics, and today we're going to be reviewing two Holystone drones. Those drones being the Holystone Hs170 and the Holystone Hs170. Wait. Okay, just before you think I'm crazy and I'm going to be reviewing two of the exact same drones, there's a major difference here. This one is much older than this one. This is the old version and this is the new version, which you cannot tell visually. Older version may be a little bit more expensive because it's a little bit harder to find, but the newer version that came out is about 30 bucks, I do believe. Now, let's go into the major differences between these two, even though they look the exact same. Now, since you cannot tell visually the difference between them, let's go ahead and just turn them on, and you can see the difference in the lights. This is the old version, starting out with, and its lights are blue and red on the bottom. So they have blue and red lights. Now, the newer version is the white and red lights. But there is a visual difference with the controllers here. So the older one's controller is just a very basic. There's no identification like like this one. It has little helping guides. Like, see here, it has the little prints like the takeoff and the trimmer. You know, it has a little things to let you know which button is which, little prints there. This one does not, which is kind of a disadvantage, but the controller on the old one takes 6 AA batteries. The controller, however, on the new one only takes 2 AA batteries. There is a difference, however, when you turn these controllers on. Now, here's the old one getting booted up. Here's the sound of it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Old sound. That's that sound of the controller getting turned on. Now here's the new controller getting turned up. See, there's a major difference there. Listen. Now for major performance differences, the older one is not altitude hold. So it's kind of like the FPV race drones where you have no altitude hold whatsoever. It's just zipped. It's in my opinion, I like the non-altitude hold ones a little bit better on the smaller ones, just because you can control the props. So say you're about to run into something, you can immediately turn your drone off, where with the altitude hold, you actually have to take off. I mean, hit the stop button and all that. But this one, you just push down on the throttle and the drone just, it turns off. So, not altitude hold, which, if you've been into drones as long as I have, which is, by the way, I got my first drone almost 8 years ago, so approaching 8 years, and when I got it, it was a non-altitude hold, so I kind of got used to flying non-altitude hold drones, but most of you guys probably are really familiar with the altitude hold. Another major difference is when taking off. You see, that is a major thing. Like, here, let me show you. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn the old one on. Okay, now to connect it, you just turn it on, up, down, connected, and so you can control the speed at which you take off, but, so you can do it as slight. Let me see how low we can. It is controlled, but, however, on the Holystone Hs170, the newer one, when pairing it, the same similar thing, but you cannot take off by using a joystick like this one. But this one, you don't have that, so you got to hit the 1-key takeoff. It's an automatic, which this one I'd have to admit, okay, maybe it's a little more stable than this one, now that I'm flying it and looking at them here, but this one is very stable. Then to land it, you just hold down, which is good. A lot of people got used to this. I just got used to this one. Because I can control the speed at which it lands. Oh, we've had a race with these two, and actually the older one beat the newer one by a long shot. The battery life on both of these are not any different. You can actually use, these both have interchangeable batteries. It doesn't matter. Battery life is the exact same. I haven't had any issues with any of these drones so far. As far as I know, none of these drones have issues. It's just that I haven't had this one, the newer version, quite as long. I've only had the newer version for about a year. I've had the older one for 3 years, and this one spent 6 months. The older one spent 6 months outside. And so I know this thing is very durable. I just got used to it. When the newer one came, I enjoyed it, but it just, for me, if you start with this one, you'll probably like this one the best. But I started with this one, so it's kind of a major difference between these two, in my opinion, just for flying purposes. Now, Holy Stone being a very good company, it can give you all kinds of new parts for both of these drones. Like, you can get all the new props if you want them for, I think it's like $5 or $10 just for I use a set of 4, a set of 8, not positive there, but you can get extra props. You can get as many spare batteries you want. You can buy them in 4 packs or whatever, and then you could, because each of these batteries have about an 8 to 10 minute battery life is their average. So, and probably more like 8 minutes, I would guess, depending on if you're indoors and you're not zipping around or you're just hovering, you could probably get 10 in ideal conditions, but not probably flying them outside, which this is a good indoor or outdoor drone. It handles the wind very well. I will have to admit, I don't know, I have a feeling it's just probably because it's stayed out in the weather longer, but this one is a little more bouncy. This one's a little bit of a stiffer. It feels a little stiffer, so you watch when it bounces okay, but watch the difference when I do this. This one seems to be a little bit more springy and a little bit more... Yeah, see, let me drop them both at the exact same time. Actually, there's not a ton of difference. Okay, there's a feature I forgot to mention. Okay, so when you lift them up in the... So, when you use the one-key landing with this one, I believe, when you give this drone a little toss, now, like I said, it doesn't work with this one, only with this one. So, if you give it just a nice little toss, it'll automatically take off. That's a feature that I actually completely forgot, but now that I set it down, I remember. So, yes. Did you guys see the surprise on my face? Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely surprised there. Yes, I would say these are both excellent drones. I really can, it depends. I like the older one just a little bit better just because it has better control in my opinion, but a lot of people like the altitude hold because it's a lot stabler, okay? This one is a lot more stable than this one. It's just, I got used to this, and that's the most familiar kind. But so basically, the only major difference is in these things is, well, a pretty big year gap, but this one having the lights are different colored. Altitude hold, and non-altitude hold. Well, I guess that pretty much wraps it up. So until next time, this is Drone 2 Robotics.